Hail and good evening. Tonight, we'll dig into public education, a very, very unpopular subject, I'm sure. If you look at our stats and standings in the world, they're not good. And I think it's because they've replaced what we had as far as a classical education, which was pretty mediocre when I went to school. It was nowhere near the reading, writing, arithmetic, Latin, and study of the classics that it used to be, with stupid things like white privilege, white guilt, slavery, how we colonialized the world, that we're responsible for the Holocaust, that we raped the resources of other countries, that we've usurped history, and that we're responsible for every evil like genocide, and we built all these WMDs and we use them on people. And they also are trying to teach kids about sexuality really early on, and they teach other degeneracy like transgenderism and homosexuality to go along with it, which I personally, I'm not down for that. That is very anti-society. That is very end game society, late stage society, dying society, actually. So there's that. They also teach really bad science. Global warming that's a terrible false science, and they preach that like the gospel. And the other thing that they teach, and I'm really irresponsible, is inaccurate and very incomplete historical narratives about ancient civilizations. And they downplay a lot of very serious things, and a lot of serious things that I think are important that we could talk about in other videos. But regardless of all that, what they gloss over is almost all of our achievements, however dubious they may seem to me, that our civilization was, responsible for. Like the fact that, nobody else was about to have an industrial revolution, let alone a philosophical one like the Renaissance. And even if we did colonialize these countries, we brought technology to their not even developed world, and look how they've regressed without it. Cape Town, that they hadn't even seen. Like, some of these places didn't have the wheel, they didn't have roads. We brought them running water, sanitation, we brought them electricity. Like, we've brought and given so much. It's unimaginable. Some of the savagery that still persists in some of these places is absolutely incredible. Even after our ancestors have pulled out, withdrawn, or been driven out, like in South Africa's case, you should see the savagery that persists. In fact, you want to talk about savagery, what's utterly savage is the narrative they've woven about slavery, like the fact that we were the worst slave owners, which is absolutely not true. And I hate to burst your bubble, but if you look at the Arab slave trade and even what they did in Africa and South America, it was unbelievably more barbaric. Let's just say that castration and sexual slaves was just your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill business as far as slavery was concerned. We were the most humane slave owners. So don't let them tell you that either. You should see the state of some of these places after we packed up and left. It's kind of sad, honestly. It really is. Like, look at Haiti. After they murdered all the French people and drove them out, now look at Haiti. I mean, oh my God. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, it's just not hard to see why I wouldn't want my child in there at all, Public education is extremely broken. And especially in today's really rapidly anti-white climate, it's really not hard to see why there might be, some people that snap and, commit these shootings, which I already believe are highly questionable. We could talk about that. But it's not hard to see, with that kind of narrative being taught, why that might happen. So if they're going to make anti-white part of the curriculum, then I'm not going to make my family be subject to something like that, because personally, that's horrific, And the fact that they want to teach stuff like that and feminism, which I hate to tell you guys, but that's a horrific lie. There is sexual dimorphism between the human species, and because of that, there is not equality. I'm sorry. This is news to you. Well, I don't know what to tell you. We'll definitely unpack it later. But I ranted for a lot longer than I thought I was going to. So if you get triggered, definitely leave a comment. If you liked it, leave a like, share it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And I'll catch you later with more good stuff.